this. All the messages going. What's up, Easy Frank? I see you, Mike Delcor. Salute to you, bro. Thank you guys for being here early. Same time as Splinter's live. Damn it. Well, I mean, there's only so many days and time slots. You know what I'm saying? Where's that guy, Vegas? Rick. I don't know, bro. What's everybody up to tonight? So we got a lot going on. I have a lot going on. What's up, Dave? Dave. Uh, Scar's mom's been in the hospital for a few days, and just life is lifing right now. So you know we're doing the best we can with all of that, but to show the game must be played. The show still must go on. What's good, Big Rob Sacto? I see you. Keith Malden. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Autopsy sewage. Wow. All right. What's cracking? That is that's quite the name right there, bro. I'm not even gonna bull. Eat money bags to Don. You saw my comment from the other day. I mean, about New Haven. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I'm going to start off is with New Haven. And I'll paint you guys like a little bit of a picture when it comes to there's a member or a former member of New Haven Hells Angels, Connecticut Hells Angels out of New Haven, right? Uh, Jay or Big J or whatnot. Now he's out of the club, and then paperwork got brought to me a while back about him, a while back, saying that there's paperwork out there saying this guy allegedly may have testified against co-defendants or something like that, controlled by or something along those lines. They sent me the paperwork, and to be honest with you, yeah, out of Bridgeport. To be honest with you, there's inconsistencies in that paperwork, at least what was sent to me, and I haven't pulled it because why would I? Uh, he's not in the club. There's no reason for me to just take a vendetta against a dude who's not in the. You know what I'm saying? I would just be like going after somebody to go after somebody at that point. There's really no reason for me to. So I never pulled his paperwork, but I did look at the paperwork sent to me, and there were little things. Uh, as some of it was brought up to me by somebody that I talked to in the background, who also has seen the paperwork. Uh, where it's like they call the federal prosecutor the district attorney in the paperwork, things like that, just little stuff like that, to where it's off enough to where I question the authenticity of the paperwork that was sent to me. Uh, so anyway, so I never picked that story up and never did anything on Jay. Well, in New Haven, I guess the mother of his child or whatever, at least the business is in her name. This Michelina's, like a bar, restaurant, or something in the New Haven, Connecticut area. Well, around closing time, not too long ago, recently, uh, somebody went and hosed the place down real quick, right? Now, there's they're not really talking about who they think did it or who did it or any of that. What's up, Crusted? That's my dude right there. And Pocket Full of Shrooms, I see you too. There's Nick. So anyway, they hosed the place down at closing time, and the cops are everywhere. Somebody just lit the place up, and a couple of hours later, somebody attempts to throw a device into a place that the Hells Angels are known to hang out in that same area, just a couple of hours after Michelina's was hit. that person didn't do the timing correctly or whatnot, and this little piggy went to market, right? Blew it clean off. Uh, Now I've received pictures from social media and stuff like that of Jay, who they're alleging did this, hand all wrapped, bandaged, like you can't really see anything besides bandaging, but it looks like, at least on the outside, that allegedly maybe something went down in that area. Somebody tried to get at him, and he tried to maybe possibly get back at them, and might have taken some digits, you know, some phalanges. Uh, this is what's going on in Connecticut right now. It's that's a wild scene right there. I don't Like I said, I got the paperwork long time ago, and there's no reason to run it. They said he either started a club, or I think they said he either came from or went to like Thug Riders or Rough Riders or something like that, right? If anybody knows for sure in the comments, feel free to speculate in the comments, whatnot. But it serves no purpose to really go after a dude, like I said, that's already out of the club. So I'll be on top of that. I'm surprised Willie Lop Lop didn't have this one running. Maybe he did. And I don't really watch him, but that's right in his neighborhood, so I don't get it. Jen, Dago, Jen, I hope you're doing okay. I was watching a little bit of Fact Stranger Than Fiction before I went live. Sorry, guys. I ate a chimichanga, and that thing is kicking my ass. Uh, I watched a little bit, and I heard what he was saying about what's going on with you, and I'll reach out to you, Jen. I hope you're okay. You seem to be, because at least you're in the comments speaking and stuff like that. It's Health is a crazy thing. Health is a very crazy thing. What's up, Bobby B? I see you. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Jay who got his hand smoked off. It was someone coming at Jay. Okay. Okay, E Money. See, this is and this story, the one about the Michelinas or whatever, uh take it for what it is, because the only place I saw it, somebody sent me a link on Instagram. There's some cop. I'm not even going to shout out the name of his channel because he's a cop, but I'm definitely going to watch, or an ex cop or something like that. He's in the Thug Riders MC now. Says E Moneybags the Don. And that's no shot at the cops or nothing like that. I just this ain't the scene for that. You know what I'm saying? Um, I mean, I've interviewed an ex cop on the Tupac thing, the case that's going on right now, actually, with Keefe D. Uh, Chris Carroll, the bike cop, the motorcycle, or the bicycle cop that showed up first on the scene and told us like Tupac's last words and stuff like that. Just that whole scene, it was pretty crazy. And shout out Chris Carroll. He's a hell of an interview. I don't know why that interview hasn't done better, especially with everything going on in the news today. Maybe I need to re-drop that thing. Shout out to Big Weavy, who did that interview, set it all up too. All I had to do was show up. That guy has no idea what he's talking about. E Moneybags to Don says, thank you. Thank you. I do know it involves Jay. I do know the mother of his child does own Michelinas, and I do know Michelinas was blasted up. I do know somebody blew their little piggies off, attempting to throw a device later that night, and that's where we're at with that. Like I said, this just came across. I wasn't even going to go live tonight. Like I said, Scar's mom is pretty ill, so we've been dealing with that a lot, and it's never easy. So shout out to her. I hope she's doing good. She's laid up in the hospital. E-moneybags, exactly correct. And you seem like you have a little bit more knowledge on this too. Thank you for being in the comments and kind of at least being able to steer it. Hopefully what you're saying is correct. I have no reason to believe it's not to be, you know. Everyone like and share, Roger. Hey Huck, what's going on, buddy? I see you. Yeah, it was a great interview, Crusted. I don't understand. And now with this trial underway, we even talked about Keefe D in that interview with Chris Carroll. And I believe it's on my videos section. If it's not, it's in my live section. But it's a crazy story he told us. And you know, he's one of the cops that was chasing me around Vegas, you know, all those years back when I was into that criminal shit. So it was all right. It was different. That's the only guy I would think from, like, I wouldn't do anything with Jay Dobbins or anybody like that, just for what, you know. When you're telling a Vegas story, it was apropos. Plus, you got to hear what Tupac, the last thing he said, which, by the way, was "fuck you" to the cop. So, shout out Chris Carroll. I'd imagine he'll probably end up on this trial, maybe. But next we have a lot going on when it comes to Fresno, Sonoma, Salem, and that whole evidentiary hearing that's tomorrow, and then Merle Hefferman's is the next day. So I'll just say Merle's camp, his lawyers really were like, here, you need to check the transcripts in this. The way they've been wording stuff or whatever in court has led people to basically the cops are doing a good job, it looks like, of smearing Merle up and trying to make him look bad. I don't know, still the court date lingering like that. Maybe it's he hasn't been sentenced, just like Rain Man and Ray Ray haven't been. Maybe, but he took his plea deal before the trials started. So but he had health issues, and maybe that's what's keeping him out. Anyway, it goes. The real confidential informant, I'm not even going to say is Robbie's girl or wife or whatever, because the way that they've been wording it in these courtrooms is, it's inflammatory, really, and it leads people to believe one thing or hear one thing, and then it gets back to me, and it's like, no, they said this about Merle in open court. Well, it wasn't. It was about this confidential informant, who is a woman. We have discerned that through the court paperwork. And this woman alleges that she was with Robbie Huff doing cross country weed deals, basically, right? Back and forth with the 81 and Robbie Huff. She's the one who said that to the FBI, or because she's an informant, that Robbie Huff told her he's the one who did this to Doughboy, right? Well, she's supposed to take the stand tomorrow. What it's looking like now, and everybody's been moved, like I said, closer to the courthouse for the court hearing. They're all in county jails in the area, things like that, and the Fed holding tanks of these county jails. And that includes Merle. So Merle is obviously not in Witseg. Merle's not in the county jails, but he's showing up off the streets or he's zooming in, and they're keeping it sealed. Tomorrow won't be sealed and the next day under Merle's either. This lady's supposed to testify, this snitch, this confidential informant, right? She's gone. All of a sudden, a woman who is supposed to be in witness protection, who is a paid confidential human source in this case, who is set to testify with exculpatory evidence in favor of the defendants, right? who's supposed to be in the government's care, they can't find her. And tomorrow, we're expecting that the government is going to ask for a continuance while they attempt to track this informant down to have her testify. Which to me just sounds, it's like, come on, bro. Everybody sees what's going on here, and the judge is going to allow it. They're buying time. They're buying time with a witness that they probably have stashed away somewhere. What are the chances? Unless you got to look at it like this, and this is just my brain working. This is not stating this as any type of fact. I don't know how many times I can say all that. Unless this happened and she told the feds that Robbie Huff was the one who did this all those years back, and she scattered to the wind out of witness protection after getting like a new identity or whatever, and just went off on her own with that new identity. That's the only reason I could see for them losing her. But that would mean that the prosecution and the feds knew about this alternative theory, or this woman that's stating none of the people that were being tried for this were actually involved in it. That would mean that they knew about it, which means that their conviction should be overturned immediately. Because under Brady, you can't do that. You have to hand over every bit of exculpatory evidence to any defense as a prosecutor. You have to. And if you don't, you violate Brady, and it should be overturned. Now, if somehow this goes in front of Judge Chen, they're going to get a continuance tomorrow. This is going to continue to move forward slowly at the prosecutor's hide or try to find a witness that they lost, whatever. But eventually they're going to track this woman down. She's going to have to take the stand, or they're going to have to use the 108, I believe, pages of her working with them as evidence. And if Judge Chen doesn't give them new trials, the appeals will, so it sucks because we've been working so hard, like, to get to this point, and now it's like tomorrow's the day, right? And we're all going to be able to hear it. We can all go on the Zoom link. We can all listen to what's going on in there. Probably not the testimony of this woman, because they're going to try to protect her identity as much as possible, at least from the public. Like, obviously the men involved probably have met her or know who she is, but we don't. So I could understand them sealing off that portion when she comes in to testify. But other than that, we should be able to hear everything else. And it sucks because we've been waiting for this day, just busting our asses in the background. I don't know what else I could do to try and help, and it's almost like, damn, dude, they just keep gutting us. The government just keeps gutting us with this. It's wild. So expect a delay again tomorrow. And then Merle's will probably trail off the same. If that's what's holding up Merle, is basically, I don't see him joined in a joinder, though. He's still on his own because he took a plea deal and was separated from all the others in this that went to trial, obviously. But I have to get in and dig deeper. Pacer isn't offering really much of anything because everything's been under seal for the last year and a half, 2 years. So all the information I'm getting is coming from within, coming from family members, close friends of the men that were convicted in this, being in court in person and then telling me, you know. Yeah, full disclosure, Huck. So basically, I'm relying on the memories of people in the courtroom, which sometimes, you is hard to decipher or discern for them what they've heard, for me what they're telling me. You know, we're gonna find out. We're all gonna find out. It's gonna come out, but it's definitely to the point where it's not Merle. Like Merle, it is still weird that he's been able to stay out for this long. He would be pretty much done with his sentence by now. Uh, if he'd had gone in when and been sentenced and started his time. But he has had health issues, and that's a known thing. I'm not going to go into his health issues because like that's poor taste. But he it's been known that he's in that scene that he's had health issues and very bad ones. So as it comes to the confidential informant, it would be reckless for me to put out who that is. If you're in the scene and you're in the know, you'll probably already understand. For me, even if it's nailed down and it's like, oh, it was this person, hey, that's not for me. You know, like what happened to you in 2013, Huck. Yeah, yeah. Well, they've been doing this. You know, they've been doing this. So now I I've been talking to Nick from Wilmington. Uh, Task force raided his house today, tore it apart, and it's crazy because I put it out there basically about the member that was accused of being a task force member by somebody that was arrested in a trap house, and I pretty much put it out there that I talked to Nick, the ex prospect from Wilmington, about certain things, and then task force shows up and they raid his house. Somebody, from what I can understand, is somebody put in an anonymous something saying that he was maybe keeping illegal whatevers at his house, and task force showed up with a warrant, tore his house apart. Can I say it's the club? Can I say it's the ex member that they're saying is a task force? I can't say any of that. It's anonymous. Who knows? But it's fishy. It's definitely fishy. You know. So them finding a witness at this late, it isn't impossible. They found me after 25 years. Yeah, Jen, exactly. Especially when she, you know, she was an informant, and don't put it past any of the cops if they see her as an asset, right? If she had been a paid confidential human source, is what they call it, or a paid informant for the feds when all of this was going on, and she was collecting evidence for the feds when all of this is going on, and then it's time to pull her out, put her in witness protection, change her identity, and now all this trial stuff, right? Well, who's to say that I mean, the feds, look at what they did with the Vagos, the Mongols, and the outlaws when it comes to whatever the Billy, whatever his name is, right? The the guy who tried to take down 3 clubs, basically. He did so good in one that they put him in the next one and then the next one, right? They'll do that to a woman because you better believe, as they obviously do, probably take notice of the women that are around, uh, the other teams. Maybe not that close, right? Maybe not so close where they could have moved this woman across the country. She could be working another club right now, and she knows how to fit right in. So I don't know, guys. If you're dealing with a woman that just showed up in your life and you're in a club doing illicit stuff, you might want to turn, look at that woman, and go, hmm, is she going to do this to me? You know, because she might. What's up, Mark? I see you, brother. Splinter having a nervous breakdown and is blocking everyone? No, Splinter. Ah, damn. Shout out Prison POV. That is the homie. Will always be the homie. Splinter is the best storyteller on YouTube. Even when he's tripping out, he is just awesome to watch. I got all the love in the world for Splinter. Go check him out. I'm going to go watch his live after I'm done with my live. That's how much that'll be the first thing I watch. And shout out to his big friend. Not going to say his name, though. He who will remain nameless. What's up, Sippy? I see you in here. And Sippy, thanks for showing up all the time. Nick said, funny these videos go out exposing Wilmington and knock knock were already proved in this video posted that all the cops and the sergeant covers it up. Well, and you know, Nick's got his real it's a personal beef with him in Wilmington. And I always have to keep that in mind, but I'm seeing all this stuff and it's like, well, he ain't bullshitting. Look at old task force showing up at his spot and shit. He got a hold of me, and what did I tell him? Bro, what are you gonna run from task force? They're at your house, bro. Ask them for a warrant, call your lawyer. You know, that's all you can do when it comes to a task force showing up. Aiden Knuckles. Hey, listen, Herb blocked that for a or he clipped that little comment for a reason. So, what's up, Shabazz? I see you. Glad you're back solo the way you were meant to fly. You rock. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. And it's a lot easier for me. I can't lie. Did I have a lot of fun? Yes. But did I get more loose? Like for me, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like to talk the most shit all the time. Like it's fun to me, right? That's just a guy thing, I think. Like it's corrupt is one of my boys off of YouTube. Bro, I'll go into his live just talking shit to him. And not mean, but just, you know, hey, you got a pimple on your face type of bullshit, right? And you know, so maybe that's I did enjoy that with Breeze, but I think he just took it too personal a lot. And then, you know, if you want to know the truth, maybe he got a little drunk on infamy. I won't even say internet fame or any of that because I don't see myself as internet famous by any means. I still live a pretty normal life for, you know, almost 50 years old, but you know, maybe I don't know. Shout out to Breeze. You know, he'll figure it out. Wild Bill, what's good? Blockchains, I see you. Hey, Mark, it's good to see you in here for sure. So, on to a different thing, away from the biker stuff now. Have you guys seen this Clancy trial that's going on with this lady? I've been flipping between this Clancy trial and the Dwayne Davis trial, the Keefe D trial in Vegas, the Tupac, you know, M1 case. This woman How do you word this, Rick? All right. She has some kids, lost all of her brains, which happens. I understand it's a real thing postpartum, right? Um, decided that she was going to send each one of her children to the upper room, and then she poked herself in the neck or something along those lines, and swan dived out of her second story window to like the pavement or whatever, grass below, whatever, paralyzed herself. Lived, and now they're putting her on trial for what she did to the kids. Insane. Insane. And not for nothing, you see all these, and I won't say it's all women, but it's mostly women that are like, you got to understand, no, there's no understanding that whatsoever. As bad off as I've been in my life, that's, oh my God, awful. Awful. I hope I hope they find her guilty 3 times and give her life 3 times. She got to wheel herself around the prison for the rest of her life. And I hope whoever pushes her around, you know what I'm saying, rolls her ass off the sidewalk every time and just keeps it pushing. That's what I hope for that woman because of what she did. That's awful. Awful. Oh, Mark, your name's Sticks W. Yeah. Oh, Sticks with me. Yeah, Mark's does. Mark's got a strong name. Yeah. Witkowski. That's quite the name. Now, is it is it pronounced with a V or a WH? Is it Witkowski? Mmm. Or Witkowski? Mmm. There's a little Eastern European to that. I don't know, bro. That's crazy. We're meant to give our last breath to our children so they can have extra time. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and don't get me, I mean, I've never battled anything like that really. Uh, I've been down in bad places in my life where it's like, you know what, I just don't even care what happens to me, right? But at no point uh would I ever, never, zero chance. I'm gonna fight to the end for my children to be, make it through any situation. Like that's what you're here for. That's what God put you here for. And that woman failed 3 times, and not just failed, like swan dived. God, awful, awful, awful person. So anyway, that's what we got going on today. I'll hit some of this chat up if you guys want, and then, like I said, with Scar's mom, it's been a lot. It's been running around crazy, which I love because then it's just me and Scar. We just cruise, right? And she's Scar. She's mean to me, guys. you know, she whoops on me, but I don't care because I love her. Sent hiding Cody Carswell. I appreciate that. Thank you. So tomorrow, I the crazy thing is I can't put in for like a media type of thing with Judge Chen right now for obvious reasons. Probably definitely not happy with me. But I don't believe anything I've done thus far to be illegal or immoral when it comes to anything involving that case, right? Just stating the facts or my opinions on what other people have alleged. things like that, but never stating anything, just falsely accusing or any of that. Uh, and at one point I even said the judge has been fair in this, right? But at what point you got to step in there, Judge, and you got to look at the prosecutors and say, hey, man, you shit the bed on this and it's over, you know? And not for nothing, it doesn't end. Say they all get their convictions overturned and Rain Man goes home and Rusty goes home and Brian Went goes home, right? You still got to remember a new trial is the best case scenario for John and for Ray, right? Because the Troy Conti counts in that conviction, right? For the others that weren't convicted in the Troy Conti counts, they're looking at real action at going home. And then at the best case scenario, John and Ray are no longer looking at life, no longer looking because they got life for Doughboy, not for smacking Troy around in the clubhouse. Like it's just nowhere near. Now, what happened to Troy happened to Troy. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, you chose that life. Then you did that to a savage, basically. You know what I'm saying? By doing what you did with his lady while he was away, and then threatening to do harm to him in the background, saying you was going to get him. And then, what happened to you happened to you. Like you kind of earned that one. Maybe not to the point of everything that is being alleged, but this is Ray you're talking about. You couldn't have. You might as well go try and get with God's woman. Like, what's wrong with you? Some people, yeah, go monster from the Mongols. Go hit on his lady next or something. Like, what's wrong with you, bro? So I think with the time served already, especially with Ray. Now, John is about what, 3 to 4 years in on this sentence? But if it's just a Troy Conti charge, he'll be looking to get out here, double up the time that he's done, he'll be home. And he's still a young man. It's the Doughboy case that put everybody on life sentences. It is. So they got to throw this out. They have to. And then if the prosecutors knew about it before, the judge has to overturn these convictions completely. And for Rusty and for Rain Man and even Brian Went, that's where it's got to be. It has to. No matter what you think about them. Because fair is fair. Listen, you can't just allow the government to go in and pick who they want to do this to, or else one day they'll just do it to everybody. It'll just become the way, right? So you have to fight for injustice, even if you find the person vile, right? Like I haven't hidden my thoughts on say Brian Went. Now I'm easing up on that because they're saying Robbie did it, not Brian, which would completely change my outlook and aspect on Brian Went, right? But the entire time I've built up this almost disdain, obviously, but almost a hatred for Brian Went because of this case. It doesn't matter that I don't like him. You can't do this to somebody and get away with it. It's not right. You have to. The judge has to step in. That's what he is there for. So, or else tomorrow it'll be me, and then you. So, I think everybody needs to start pouring in letters to this. It's Judge Chen, right, in the federal courthouse, San Francisco. Emails. Hey, we're all watching. This is just a concerned citizen, and I'm watching what's going on right here. And this is not American justice. This is not legal law. This is bull. This is bullshit. You know, let Judge Chen understand that the public is watching what's going on, and we have a vested interest because we don't want it to happen to us down the road, because you make it the new norm in court to be able to just do this type of shit just because they're Hell's Angels, you know? No, doesn't work that way. Miscarriage of justice, Isaac. Exactly. Is he there for it? I don't know. You know, another thing, and I'm assuming that people close to Merle's legal team will be watching this. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the ins and outs of the case by any means, but I do know a lot more than, say, just the normal public, and that's why I'm able to do what I do with this case. Merle testifying for the 5 about no, because then he's still testifying against, and it would put him out bad. Never mind. X-nay on that. I was gonna say, if Merle got up there and testified that he never even saw Brian when it comes to Doughboy, and all he saw was Robbie, because Robbie known that Robbie just discarded of Doughboy's remains, discarded of Doughboy's car. Not only that, when he took it out into the middle of nowhere, that fool took the gas tank off of it and poured diesel fluid all over it, and that it would have, as they said, turned to ash before they ever found it. If you know, Sammy Sausage Head hadn't have been driving by randomly out in the middle of nowhere and seen the smoke that day, they never would have even found it. And it's never been in contention that Robbie Huff is the one who did both of those things. So is it that far of a stretch to think Robbie Huff is the one who actually took out Doughboy too? And then Merle, who has already pled guilty to basically tidying up the clubhouse and making a phone call that Robbie was on his way down there with Doughboy to get rid of him. So it's not like I'm talking out of turn there. If Merle got on the stand, do you think, isn't that like a catch-22? Like, you can't say Merle would be out bad or a bad Hell's Angel if he did that, right? But he's still testifying against somebody on a crime. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm saying maybe he could. He should. You know, if you take one for the team, what's it worth to you? Is it worth the freedom of 5 of your closest friends? Or is your ego too big? And I'm not talking to Merle, period. I'm talking to this general, you know, what if kind of situation right here. But I think if you have a confidential human source saying it's Robbie Huff that gets on the stand, and you have Merle get on the stand and say it was Robbie Huff, how could the prosecutors even prosecute the case again? They would just basically have to overturn. Or are you going to retry it without JoJo, with a new confidential informant who was working for we don't know how long for the feds, saying that Robbie Huff did this, not any of them? And then you have Merle stating that when he came into this situation and did what he has already pled to doing, that nobody else was involved, just Robbie Huff. Then that would be crazy. That'd be crazy work right there. If I let's put it this way. If I'm in Merle's shoes with this case, and like I said, I don't know everything about what's going on and how much evidence is here or there that's being hidden in these sealed hearings, right? But from what I've been able to ascertain is going on in this case, I would definitely, I'd testify. I would get on the stand and say none of my friends were there, and the man who was there is, missing, just left the club out of, shame. I don't know. Because Robbie Huff, yeah, he's a missing person. He still hasn't been declared as sent to the upper room. Biggest mess up the government when it comes to clubs since the Vagos. They're being humiliated. Might as well throw the case out. Isaac, exactly. Exactly. And sealed, no full disclosure. Huck, no. They have. So, first of all, we didn't even know that it was them being heard for months in these under seal versus under seal, right? Now, I would always see Merle's hearing, and the day before, it was always 5 under seal versus under seals on Judge Chen's calendar. Now, I dug a little deeper into the calendar and the goings on in Judge Chen's court, basically, and found where they messed up, they slipped up, and at a specific place in that website, you can see, even if it's under seal, US versus and their name, right? So a couple months ago, I was able to see that, and then I sent that on to like the newspapers in the Bay Area, things like that, and then they're the ones who really have busted it wide open. And now I'm just going off of the same thing I've always been going off of: people close to the men who were convicted in this case, or their family members. Base. That's it. Or court documents when you can get them, you know. But that's ultra rare. Look how long it took us to hear about the JoJo text to the FBI saying that Rain Man wasn't involved in it. He had lied about that. They were keeping that under wraps. Then they were doing all this under seal stuff with this confidential human source, right? And, you know, when you're leading up to trial and you have competent trial attorneys, but in something this big of a RICO, the file dump on the disclosure from the prosecutors is probably truckloads. And they will attempt to hide, not all the time, but a good percentage of the time, they will attempt to hide anything that would be exculpatory or something that would fall under Brady in this absolute mountain of evidence that they send you, right? A lot of it is made up paperwork and reports and things like that just to fluff up this tens of thousands of documents, basically, that now your defense attorney and their team has to go through before trial. And not only go through, and how they do that is you hire a defense attorney, a good one at least, right? A law firm in a RICO. They get tens of thousands of documents dumped on them. They have teams of law lawyers and paralegals and everybody on deck in the conference room with piles of paperwork in front of them, and they're literally trying to scan and get anything worth noting legally, at least in their minds. And then boom, this is something that we're going to use in trial. Boom, this, you know what I'm saying? But you have 10,000 documents you got to go through. It's impossible. So now Rain Man has gone and hired a monster, just a monster. Never lost an appeal in federal court. Never lost one appeal, from what I understand. Not one. You know how badass you got to be? And we're not talking, it's not like he's only been a lawyer for a year. This is an attorney that has absolutely made this his mission, right? Is just he's a beast. And they get hired, and then all of this exculpatory evidence starts to come out. I think his team is the one who has found all of this. And for those of you that don't know, exculpatory means it is evidence that shows you might be innocent, right? So any witnesses that have pointed the finger at somebody else, any witnesses that have perjured themselves or have made statements one way and then another way to fit the narrative, all of this, right? The government's not allowed to hide that under Brady versus Maryland. They have to hand everything over. And it's just all out the window, yeah. The game must be played. It's crazy, but it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping that Merle's is not under seal once again. Also, because his is the next day. Like we have tomorrow at, I believe it was 9:30 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, which is early for them. Usually they go at like 2. Let's see. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. we have all 5 of them. It's not showing as under seal, and then at 2:30 on Wednesday is going to be Merle. And I'm hoping that we're able to actually hear more, have a better understanding of what's going on, you know. And still, I don't find Judge Chen to be a bad lawyer or a bad judge. If it's crazy enough, it is. People don't understand the nuance of law. He's not there to fight your case for you. He is there to make sure that your constitutional rights aren't violated, which I believe they are right on the brim of constitutional violation, depending on when it comes to this snitch, right? This lady. Because if they knew about it well before, they should have definitely put up, they should have said something. What's up, Big Fitz? I see you. Shout out to the fellas. Just hell of a fucking squad over there, man. What a club. What a club. Bravo, Fitz. Fitz and the fellas MC. That's it. You want to know what it's like for how it should be? That's a pretty good painting of it right there. I hope you guys are all doing good at the fellas. And shout out to you guys. Support your local 6, right? They have more than enough exculpatory evidence and prosecutorial mishandling to exculpate a lot, if not all of these men. Isaac, I agree. The problem is this when it comes to the Troy Conti counts, right? So Ray Ray and John John were both convicted on, I think it was like the Hobbs Act, basically, for what happened with Troy. Troy was put out of the club. It is alleged that he was boo-bopped up in the clubhouse, which is known to happen. And then Troy's wife had thrown some allegations out there. I'm not gonna say that they're false allegations or true. All I will say is, in a trial, the jury found Ray Ray not guilty of that. So, and there's no way that you can say he did that because it's been proven that he didn't, basically, right? And that's how you have to look at it legally, especially when it comes to talking on the internet about it. You can't hold that against him now because he was found not guilty. But they were still found guilty of the boo-bopping. From what I understand, there was no bangers, from what I've heard, and that was thrown in there so they could try to get John John on that charge, basically stating, and John John, not for nothing, is the one who stopped it all while it was happening, because Troy's cousin was in that room at the time, a member of Sonoma. So, you know, I talked about that before in previous videos, but the bottom line is they were still both convicted on that. So I don't know where that stands really when it comes to the Doughboy portion of it, but a new trial is a new trial. So they should be guaranteed new trials. And without, I mean, they've already been acquitted of, well, Ray Ray's already been acquitted of the one he really needed to fade in all of this when it comes to Troy's lady. But with Troy, he's still lasering that tattoo off. So a new trial, you still got Troy up there, crying, saying they did this to me. It doesn't, I don't know. Yeah. So, but like I said, it's the difference in a life sentence and 10 years, 15 years in the feds. It will drastically reduce the amount of time that John is looking at by a life sentence, and you take away the conspiracies under RICO and the M1 with the RICO tag to it. You take all those away, you're taking 30 to life off the table right there, and you're holding on to bikers doing what bikers do, beating a guy up in the clubhouse, allegedly. I'll tell you, one of the easiest ways to keep from getting your ass beat in a clubhouse, don't go in the damn clubhouse. But who am I, right? Or unpopular opinion, do not have relations with the most savage motherfucker on the West Coast United States Hells Angels, a woman, while he's in prison. Maybe that'll save you from getting a nutsack tattooed on your face. The more you know. It's in Confucius. I read it in like Art of War or something like that, Sun Tzu. I don't know. Time served. Mark, possibly. Now, I wouldn't be surprised also to see a plea deal thrown their way, right? A very, very enticing plea deal, similar to the one that they gave Merle. Because don't get me wrong, the way it looked when Merle was sentenced to the amount of time and the drastic downward reduction in time from like 7 or 8 years they were looking at down to like 4 years, it makes you pause and go, whoa, what? Right? If they're looking at life last month, tomorrow they go in there and federal prosecutors tell all of them, hey, sign this plea deal right now and we'll give you all 10 years. You only have a couple more to do and you'll be free. Do you take that deal? Or do you take another shot at a retrial and getting a life sentence? Me, I'm not in a motorcycle club. I know exactly what I do. I can't sign fast enough. Who's got a pen, right? But they're in a club. They have, a certain order that they have to do things in. Certain things they can and cannot do. Certain things they can and cannot plead to. Although some are allowed to and get away with it, i.e., Heath from SAC, right? Or Highlands. I think he took a gang tag still in the club, But I've also been told maybe he took that gang tag before and when he was in a different club. I don't know. I have to look into that case still, dig into that, pull all that paperwork. I got real life situations going on. I have this case, which I have been leading the way. There's nobody on the internet that has put more of their life into just this case than me. And that's a fact. I have really poured myself into this case, and I can't stop until it's seen through, especially with Rain Man. Go to justicereigns.com if you want to buy a t-shirt or just donate and help out. Everything helps because it has afforded this to where these men are actually looking at just a glimmer of light, right? Because you don't get it twisted. You get your hopes up with the feds, they'll smash your whole soul, bro. They are not playing, and they'll do it without remorse. I could see where this goes into court and the judge just says nah, because this is the same judge that called JoJo Hardesty's testimony mostly credible. I find his testimony to be mostly credible. What? You want to run that one back by me? Mostly credible. This fool just texted the FBI agent and said I lied about Rain Man. It's brought to you, and then you say I find his testimony to be mostly credible. Nah, fool, mostly credible means sometimes lies, right? And if sometimes lies, then he is not credible. That is how that goes. I don't care how you want to legally maneuver yourself through that. Like, if sometimes lies, not credible. Can't believe him because you don't know when sometimes is, right? It's not quantifiable. He's not going to raise his hand when he's lying and then keep his hand down when he's not. You feel me? So I can see a way where this judge just throws it out, no remorse whatsoever, and just says, nah, this ain't enough for a new trial. I find this paid confidential human source that has been working for the feds for so long, who has given us 108 documents on the going on when it comes to Sonoma, Fresno. I find her to be not credible at all. But I find this dude who has told the FBI that he lied about something to be mostly credible, and you guys don't get a new trial because of it. That'd be wild work, but this day and age, nothing surprises me in the legal system, not even a little bit. Remember, next time you say the government would never do that. Yes, they would. Isaac, you ain't even bullshitting a little bit right there. Yes, they would. The feds are not your friends, folks. That's a fact. That is a fact. And not for nothing, they don't work cases for years without bearing fruit from that case, i.e., arresting people, shit like that, right? If they're watching you for a year and a half, they probably got your ass. And they don't even pop up until they have your ass. So the instant the feds come to your house, you're already busted. Might as well not say nothing. Might as well, lawyer up, especially in a big case. If it's just something stupid like check fraud or something that you're going to do a year or two on, you can get wild with them then, because what's the worst that's going to happen? J Rock. I don't see him. What's up, Midwest? Midwest is a wild man. That's my homie. Ooh, Bigfoot. For everybody that doesn't see, if you see Bigfoot right there in the comments, and you see the little icon next to him, that's me playing baseball when I was young. Oh boy, I had that luscious. I was playing for the Pirates. It was a long time ago. He's in here. I don't know. Something's going on then, because I know he shouldn't be blocked. I'll go check. When I'm off of here. I'm pretty sure, unless, yeah, I don't know. Just like the riots were mostly peaceful. Hey, Isaac, you ain't even lying. That's what they would say in the media too, didn't they? They said mostly peaceful organizing. No, no. The AutoZone right there is in tatters. It is in ashes. That is not mostly peaceful. That is mostly not peaceful. Been a designated hitter since way back. Yes, sir. Hey, I uh I coached my son's team for like 4 years. Little league team. Nothing crazy, not like World Series, Little League World Series style team, but we did go undefeated the first year that I coached. And I got in those batting cages with him. Your boy can still hit the ball, still hit the ball a ton. And it was cool. It was cool getting out there. I think it was like 12 year old in that age range. And hey, all the parents, I had good parents on my team that would like, there were team moms that would send out the emails, so I didn't have to do, like, all I had to do was focus on the field, yelling at kids, really, hey, get over here, boy, your dad never played catch with you, huh? That type of thing, you know. But we had fun. It was a lot of fun. I kind of miss that. I can't lie. Now they're older. Nothing you can do about it. Except Scar. She's a wild woman too. I'll tell you what. If you've only had sons your whole life, and you've seen them all through, they're all adults, and you decide you want to go have a little daughter at like 40, that's the best thing I ever did. But emotionally, I can handle it. Physically, I can't. Physically, she wears my ass out, bro. But I have to teach her how to put a rear naked choke on people, right? Or arm bars, or if she's hugging somebody, how to push that right in. I have to teach her. So I just gotta get them lumps in. Physically, she'd be whooping my ass. If you took a gang tag in any club, that should block you from joining any club of the big five, Lil Miles says. That's my train of thought on it too. Like I said, I'll be diving into Heath. Don't worry, Heath. I'll be looking. I will be looking. I already have the paperwork on the gang tag, taking that plea deal though. That was sent to me years ago. So it's just all of this, the Fresno stuff, and then Slick, and just these different cases have come along that have kind of pushed you off to the back burner until until now, maybe. Well, as soon as this case sees itself through. And then there's other little cases. The North Carolina case, the Fayetteville. Oh, I almost forgot. Rest in peace. I believe I heard, and it's from a good source down in that area. Maybe Kenny from Fayetteville may have been involved in an accident or something, and sent to the upper room in that. If that is the case, I haven't really looked into it, but somebody had just told me. Rest in peace, Kenny. I don't care that I don't know who that is or any of that. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never want to hear a young man losing his life. And I don't know if they have a GoFundMe still going for Rhino, but if they do, uh, definitely go donate to that. Rhino from the Hells Angels. He had young children. He had a young family, and that guy I know was a solid individual, 100%. That is somebody that I would say go look for the GoFundMe, and to his family, really, because now they got to move on. Uh-oh. Oh, reconnecting. Now we're back. Am I back? The sad thing is this. You're in the club. You have all these club brothers, right? something happens, like with Rhino, you go to the upper room and your club brothers will be there for your family, hopefully. But that wears itself out, you know. Am I still freezing, Sippy, or did I just freeze the once? Because it showed reconnecting. It's okay. I'm about to get off of here anyway. Anyway, it goes. You know, we don't want to. We don't want to rely on members of a club that have such a high turnover to take care of Rhino's family, uh, because you never know when they'll be politicked or any of that, be put out of the club or go to a different charter or shut down or any of that, right? They're only going to help take care of Rhino's family for as long as it's it's in their face, basically. So, and the best way to get ahead of that is you go find the GoFundMe for Rhino from the Hells Angels and you donate for his family to get that money so that they are taken care of at least. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Fayetteville is having a hard time. A lot of ex-Army from Fort Bragg, Mark says. Uh, yeah, Fayetteville, and they hold it down. It's crazy because Wilmington's not that far away, and Wilmington just looks like they are totally collapsing right now. But then Fayetteville, they're the ones who got indicted for the Dairy Queen incident with the pagan, all of that, right? Uh, there are other stories that have come my way out of Fayetteville that I don't touch for obvious reasons. Um, there are cases that are still open that are crazy cases, but there is just not something that I'm going to do. It has to hit the court system at some time before I'll even really talk about it, or it has to be on police blotters or police this or that, court documents, anything, media, in the news, right? I don't so much like to do the, hey, look at me, I got this information, because if it's a case that obviously, say, just in a general terms, not saying this with Fayetteville, say a member of a motorcycle club somewhere in the US goes missing suddenly and is never heard from again. I tend not to talk about a case like that because I don't want to be the one to slip up, get information I shouldn't put out, or get somebody caught up. I prefer that they already got themselves caught up and then I talk about it. That kind of deal. Yeah. How times have changed to still be like that. Let's see. Look, there was an 81 member back in the day and got paralyzed. They built a sidecar on someone's bike and let him rock his colors and stay a member. Had prospects help wash him and feed him, etc. Right. So there are those. Listen, there are many, many members that I have heard have taken care of other members when they go away on long terms, in prison, or lose their life or something while they're in the club. It's not unheard of. I'm saying it is more common that that family ends up out there on their own within a few years because all the people that are there to help are also, you know, pushed some different way in life by one force or another, right? And the way to counter that is to try to get that money directly into the hands of the good ones' families. And Rhino was a good one. He really was. Like, I've really looked into this guy. And it is Ryan Hay, right? If you look up Ryan Hay, Hell's Angels, you will be able to find a place where you can go and you can send his family this money. That dude was good. That was a good dude. His whole community. We're talking restaurants. We're talking plumbers. We're talking t-shirt salespeople, not Hell's Angels t-shirt sales either, just, like Dick's Sporting Goods, came out to that man when he was sent to the upper room. Like literally his entire community was just shook by what happened to him. And that's the mark of a good man. And then if you go on his social media, you look at his family and you look in his kids' eyes. Those are the happiest kids ever. His wife, like this dude was one of them good ones. What's up, Crusher? I see you. Shout out Crusher. If you guys haven't, go check out Rolling with Crusher. I think you just got done doing an interview with a former Mongol, I believe. So go check that out, guys. Crusher's been doing it. He's been doing it. Seen good things about Ryan. Yeah, all I've seen, Isaac, is good things. And I've asked in the background of people who knew him, and we're talking members from the West Coast, the East Coast. All of them said Rhino was one of those. He was a really good one. He was there's a few in my mind when I think of Hell's Angels that are just solid good dudes too, right? You got Jaron from Iron Range, you had Rhino, you have John Nelson, right? You have even Rain Man has a case for and against because Rain Man's been in so long. There are people that will say Rain Man was a dick sometimes. There's a lot of them that will say that, but they won't say that he was a bad person or a bad Hell's Angel, right? But the Johns, Jarens, the Rhinos, these type of dudes, where it's like, man, just solid, and to lose the good ones, that's sucks. And for Kenny, I looked up Kenny. Kenny looked young too, right? If it was the right picture that I saw, I was like, geez, talk about one way or the other. Yeah, Fayetteville is really, but they're still strong as hell. They were still at USA Run, and I saw them taking pictures at USA Run too on some of their social media, and it's no big secret. They all follow me, and I follow all of them, right? All the charters, or at least a lot of them, at least the ones that I talk about. And I'm sure that it's keeping tabs on each other, type of deal. Like, what's this dude over here talking about, and what are these guys over here doing, type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Because there is an inherent risk to what I do. I'm always going to watch the people that I talk about as closely as possible. That's only smart. But all right. Thank you for coming to Vegas Profile Stories. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time. And definitely go to Rhino's. Is Ryan Hay. Look him up. Find a way to help his family. Reach out. Just give them loving words, donations, any of that. I mean, I can't tell you, you know, don't even tell them, hey, Vegas Pro, don't say none of that. Just, hey, I want to send this to your family. I hope it helps you guys. And that would be a really good thing to do. So till next time, guys, we'll see you later. Like I said, I got a lot going on. Personally, it's right now it's just me and Scar. We're rocking hard together. So hopefully her mom can get better, and I don't want my daughter to lose her mother at a young age. So that's always a fear. So we got a lot going on. Keep us in your prayers, keep her in your prayers, and keep Scar in your prayers. And I'll see you guys next time.